Elevator Systems, Bowen Family Systems Theory in brief for a life of learning. Welcome to Season 3 of Elevator Systems. This is our pre-season episode where we will introduce what we will be thinking about in Season 3, which is Bowen Family Systems Theory in relationships across the lifespan. Katie White is Executive Director at Living Systems and a couple and family therapist. She is here again this season. Welcome back, Katie.
Thank you for letting me be your co-host for another season.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm letting. I just am very glad that you are here. When we talked about what to do next, in season 2, we had done the 8 concepts. I had mentioned I wanted to think about Bowen theory out and about in the world.
Sounds so much better from a Canadian.
Right? I said, I didn't know I had a Canadian accent until I did a Bowen training out of Houston, and they thought I was talking about my boat. But I was saying about. So the coming seasons are Bowen theory out and about. Out and about. Is that better? How would you say it, Katie?
I think I like it about. I think it's fun. But I appreciate it. And you're kind of setting up that we have ideas going for seasons 3 through 5 on looking at places where we can think about this.
So season 3 is relationships throughout life, from our first relationships to friendship, to pets, to partnered relationships, coworkers, parenting, and relationships in later life. So what are you most excited about for this, Katie?
You know, I'm most excited about is taking Bowen theory into real life. Like, I think sometimes Bowen theory can get a bad rap for being a little too cerebral and academic, and maybe it sticks into that side of it. But I think this season is really going to give us an opportunity to talk about how this looks when I'm thinking about my own family and the different stages of life I go through. How when I'm sitting with a client and I'm thinking about the different challenges that they're thinking about. So I just think it's bringing it into the real world.
Yeah, for sure. I liked the practical real life situations and applying theory. The other thing I thought was interesting is what's the same and what's different in relationships from when you're 8 versus 80. My next milestone birthday, it's a little ways off still, but the next milestone birthday is 50. And I keep thinking, how is that possible when I just generally act like a 14-year-old? So, but what's different?
Maybe that's how it's possible.
Maybe.
Keep that youthful attitude.
Yeah. I wanted to highlight a great book for people that maybe want to dig in, on your own time, is the book Growing Yourself Up by Jenny Brown. And it's really, really useful to just look across the lifespan and, being a mature self in your relationships.
Yeah. I was going to pop in with our strategy a quote that I found. There's a book from, I can look at the publication date. It's been updated, but the original version was in 1980, looking at the family life cycle. It's edited by Monica McGildrick and Betty Carter. And Bowen writes the intro and he says, it's not easy for people to shift from thinking about the individual to thinking about the family as an emotional unit. The difference in this is subtle and powerful. And the more a family therapist can see the family as a unit and think of the family as a unit, the more helpful the therapy will be. And he talked in this intro about the family life cycle, thinking about the family through the life cycle may be a practical and effective way to help people move towards seeing the family as a unit rather than a collection of individuals. So I thought, what a lovely challenge to set us up this season to see at the end of the season, do we think both you and I are thinking about the family as the unit more, and would our listeners have any thinking about this is a lens into which you would see the family more as an emotional unit?
Very interesting. Yeah. Just in terms of the episodes, the format, we still begin with the elevator pitch. It's going to be similar in some ways, but the difference is that we've sort of asked our guests, what is one piece of Bowen theory that you think is useful when you think about coworkers or dating, etc.?
Yeah, I appreciate you brought that up.
Yeah, so there can be a lot of different concepts that we sort of pop back and forth about, but the nice thing is we do have, certainly there's lots of books, but we do have season 2 that people can go to if they're like, oh, multi-generational transmission process.
Yes,
What is
yeah.
that about?
Yeah,
And get
that's
some
great.
more
And
answers.
the other thing I was thinking about that I think is going to be a fun and interesting challenge about this season is there are areas that we're going to talk about that I might definitely have not lived through. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
areas that I might have less experience in. So, one of my interesting challenges might be, well, in some episodes, I'll be able to say, here's something I do use from the theory. And then other places might be, here's what I think might be useful. And
Mhm.
so I think that's going to be a fun challenge for me this season, is to maybe dive into thinking about areas that I haven't done as much thinking about.
Yeah, yeah. Another exciting addition to the season is getting to work with the Murray Bowen Archives Project.
Yeah.
And thanks to the wonders of technology, we have the Director of Operations for the Murray Bowen Archives Project here with us, Elise Steenberg. Elise has been working for the Murray Bowen Archives Project since September 2019. As Director of Operations, she is responsible for a wide variety of administrative and organizational tasks, including working on the content for the website. And she says she greatly appreciates the opportunity to learn so much about Bowen theory in the course of her work. Elise is also, in her spare time, or her full time, is a PhD candidate in ethnomusicology and is writing a dissertation focused on nonprofit performing arts organizations in Cambodia. So thanks for hopping on today, Elise.
Yes, well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, can you tell us more about the Murray Bowen Archives Project?
Sure. So TMBAP, as we often shorten it to, is an organization that was founded in 2008, and it's dedicated to preserving, cataloging, and promoting access to the archival legacy of Dr. Murray Bowen. So the organization is really focused on ensuring that Dr. Bowen's clinical notes, video and audio recordings, photographs, correspondence, and other artifacts are safeguarded and made available for scholarly research, but also for more public education. And our website, which is murraybowenarchives.org, has hours of video of Dr. Bowen, collections of his letters and other papers. And in addition to that, TMBAP has put together its own collection of more than 50 oral history recordings with those who knew and worked with Dr. Bowen, detailing their own experiences with him, and also with using Bowen theory in their own lives, both personally and professionally. So there's a lot there.
Lots of good stuff to go check out.
Definitely. The main link on the website is Window into the Archives, and that's where all of our archival materials live.
Great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was so pleased we met with Katie, and I met with you, I guess it's a few months back, and we talked about how we could work together this season, and we told you some of our topics for the episodes, and it did not take you long to get back with like, here's some quotes, here's from a letter, here's from a video. So it's been really helpful for us this season, especially as we go into more specific topics, to get beyond just family therapy and clinical practice and some of the chalk talks, but to get some of his more specific thinking and writing.
Right. Yes, and with the help of our communications specialist, Corey Freeman, she and I regularly comb through the archives because we prepare the materials for the website, and Corey has also been posting them on social media recently. And everything we have available is open and free to the public to access. So really what we do is promote access to the archives, and it's a great opportunity for us as well to have you all showcase what is already available for people to use in the archives. We're really excited for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's helped me to not have to like comb through hours of searching PDFs and other things. So
true.
Dixie extra appreciates it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're really, a key thing that we're trying to do too is make all the materials highly searchable and easy to access. Because, one thing that Catherine Rocco, who is a former board member of ours and previously has done a lot of research in the archives, she's talked about access to the archives in the past has been really difficult. Everything is in boxes and it's hard to know what's even in an individual folder. So one of the key things that the Murray Bowen Archives Project is trying to do is make the materials more digitally accessible and searchable so that it's not just a black box of things, but that things are organized and accessible and easy to use.
Yeah, which is perfect this season as we take Bowen Theory, Dixie's going to say it for me, out and
about. About, I can say it. Yeah. Yes. Anything else either of you want to add?
I just want to say that I'm really excited about showing how the archives can be used in the real world, and that we're really working to build engagement with the archives in the real world. And so this is a great example of how they could be used.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for your help.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Thanks for joining, Elise. And I'm thankful for what it's so hard to say for me, the Murray Bowen Archives Project
It's a mouthful.
will bring to the season.
Yeah.
Great, thanks. Season 3 episodes are set to be released every Tuesday starting July 8th and will go to almost the end of October. The episodes will be chronological-ish order through the lifespan, which means that our October episodes are going to be very nicely timed with Living Systems Hybrid Conference, October 17th and 18th on aging. And the title of the conference is Aging, Individual Challenge or Family Opportunity. You want to say more, Katie?
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. I think it'll be such a nice tie-in with the podcast as we're talking about, how families adapt to the stresses and opportunities when they're entering a new stage of life. And I think that the conference will be a nice way to also talk about that. Amy Post is going to be our keynote speaker, along with we're bringing 2 researchers in, one from each of our local universities, as well as we're having a few other faculty presentations and some interviews. So I hope that people go check out Living Systems to see, and we hope you can join us as kind of a culmination to this season.
Yeah, we'll put the link to the conference in the notes. It is hybrid, so you don't have to come to Vancouver, but Vancouver is quite lovely.
We'd love to see you.
Yeah. And Annalyn Conklin from University of British Columbia and Teresa Polly from Simon Fraser University are the researchers who've done lots of great research on aging relationships and health.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to say more about what Living Systems is offering this coming fall?
Yes. So hopefully if this podcast gets some of you excited about learning more about Bowen Theory. I mean, I imagine some people listening probably know lots, but the challenge is always there. So we do run training programs for both clinicians and non-clinicians, for people in ministry. We offer a year-long study, and then we offer shorter programs throughout the years. So hopefully that will be an option for you to go check out our website. There are also programs around the world. The nice thing that this podcast allows us to do is connect with some of the other Bowen Network programs and the thinkers around the world doing trainings in Bowen Theory. So also on Living Systems website is a link to the other programs around the world that people are doing some working and thinking in Bowen Theory. So hopefully if your interest gets piqued, you will connect with us and learn more.
Sounds good. So to end the episode today, in other pre-seasons, we have done fun facts, but we kind of had a lot to talk about today. So I thought we would do one fact. See how it rhymes with fun facts? I thought that was, I've had a cold all week. I thought it was clever. One fact. That one fact is that Katie and I recorded all of seasons 1 and 2, having never met each other in person. We met the first time at the end of February this year at a faculty retreat day for living systems. And here is the proof. If you're on the video, hopefully I have the skills to show when we met in person.
Oh, there you go.
And I don't know, it's just interesting to me that we live in a world where we can do these big projects and have never breathed the same air.
Yeah.
And I've also wondered if it shifts the dynamics a bit this season. We know each other a bit better. We have met. We now share hilarious memes, or more or less hilarious memes.
We've joined over coffee and donuts. I think that there's been some real bonding moments, and it is, I think it's a useful experiment to think about what is different when people make face-to-face contact and work on one-to-one relationships, because I think that's the other part that connects through Bowen theory is knowing each other and studying the same thing, but getting to know each other and our persons and our families and things. How does that shift things, including our own work, each of us, on differentiation as we sit in this podcast space? So I think,
and make decisions together, and
I think it brings something. Maybe we'll see if people notice. We primed them now, so now they're going to look.
Exactly. So don't forget the podcast is on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I've never thought I would say this in my life, but like and subscribe if you don't want to miss the release, because it really is quite handy to see.
Yes.
There it pops up.
I appreciate every time it pops up in my Spotify, and then I listen and cringe for a little while, and then I get into the topic.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope people enjoy what we've put together, getting not all, a lot of life's relationships on the elevator this season. This podcast is produced by Living Systems, a nonprofit organization in Vancouver offering counseling and training programs in Bowen family systems theory across Canada.